Tyler Taormina.
Also known as Cloud.
Yes.
And we are at the precipice of his new album release, Zen Summer, which is coming out on the 27th?
28th, I think.
The 28th. We had a chance to listen to it. You thought that it was one of the best bedroom pop, dream pop albums that we've heard in a very long time.
Yes, so we snatched him up before he gets too famous for us. And here we go. Talking about your album, how do you creatively do it? Do you think of the lyrics first and then the melody, or does it just... What is your process?
I think for me, writing songs is like you're in like a songwriting mode, right? And say we're talking, you know, and you bring up something that resonates with me. That thought will stay in my head just for weeks, for months. And when I'm at the keyboard or the piano or whatever, that thought will come combined with what I'm working on, and I will, you know, put it as a lyric. So when I'm writing songs, I almost think in terms of lyrics, things that are impactful to me.
So there's a lot of instruments on the album. How many of those did you specifically play, or did you have friends come in and do a certain thing here and there?
Zen Summer is a very layered album, but it's mostly, I would say, synthesizer-based things. But it's very electronic in some ways, and in that regard, it's mostly me doing the layers. But however, there's tons of collaboration with organic instruments, like the guitar, acoustic and electric from my friends Casey Jacobs and John Davies and Ken Korb. And
oh, Kenny's on the album?
Kenny's on the
He's
album.
also in Adam and Naive.
Also in Adam and Naive,
That's
yeah.
Great.
And then, of course, vocally is where I like to get a lot of my friends in there, especially because when I listen to it, the music in the future, I'm like with them again, you know, it's really nice.
Question about the vinyl release. I have to ask because, as you know, I'm obsessed. Super excited. You're releasing 300 copies on yellow vinyl, which is really cool. I'm going to make sure I get one. And did you have a lot of involvement with the actual like pressing, the decision of like how many, the color?
It was kind of a discussion between the label and I. I was open for color. I said do what you want, and they chose a really cool color. It's a nice yellow, and it really complements the front of the record. The picture on the front cover is a place called David Weld's Nature Preserve. It's in Long Island, and it's the spot that we always go to kind of just get away. It's a place where I know I picture myself there, and I'm with all my friends. You know, we're all hanging out as we always did there. But the album cover is kind of pointedly desolate. And I think that's a good juxtaposition. We
were genuinely so entertained last night when we were listening to your album. You described it as the perfect summer.
Yeah, Zen Summer is literally the best name you could put it, because that's what the vibe is. It's just this peaceful, tranquil, beautiful, poppy summer album. That.
Yeah. What would you want your audience to leave with?
I feel like when I wrote those songs, I was really in a place of it was a tender place for sure. Kind of like this blissful anxiety that is like just realizing life itself. I hope it comforts people through how completely terrible that can feel. But also how nice it could be too.
While you were recording the album, did you have anything on like heavy rotation that you were listening to that kind of helped you keep on track and inspired?
A huge influence for this album is Hounds of Love by Kate Bush. Man, I think that album is just such a masterpiece. It is so cinematic. I feel like Kate Bush takes you through the different songs, like there are different scenes, like you're here and then you just pop up here. And it just feels like a movie to me, and that's kind of how I approach all my albums. I want them to feel very cinematic, narrative, but not like a rock opera.
Cool. Well, you have a in-store performance at Origami Vinyl coming up on the 24th. That's gonna be really exciting. Are you nervous, excited?
This will be the first time that I'm playing a show with no one else on the bill, so in that sense, like, I hope people are coming. And if this comes out before then, please come, because no one's gonna be there.
Oh my gosh.
People will be there. You were written about in Pitchfork, arguably the biggest music blog on the planet, and it was very favorable. How'd that make you feel, knowing that you had reached a level where bands that you admire are talked about?
Man, that was funny. I feel like when you are releasing an album with a label, especially, it's like a presidential campaign. You know, it's like how are we doing here? How are we doing here? And for Audio Antihero, Jamie, who, if you're watching this, I love you, amazing person. I'm gonna be meeting you in September At your wedding. Okay, anyway. We had no idea Pitchfork was a thing. We didn't expect it, and it was like, holy shit! I think we're getting a thing on Pitchfork. Oh, cool. It was a little surreal, but it flickered and faded just like that. No, that's that.
Is there a band or an album in specific that shaped you, not just for this album, but in all your musical endeavors?
I wouldn't answer that with an album. I would answer that with like artist collectives that I really appreciate. Growing up, the Kinsella family was just so inspirational for us. Anything from Cap and Jazz to American football, especially Joan of Arc, I think they're kind of criminally overlooked in the Kinsella.
Totally, yeah.
Anything Saddle Creek, really, or I guess Oberst related, was a big influence in getting into music, especially the way Bright Eyes make albums. Like they are very narrative in terms of story, and they always have a nice resolution to them. And then, of course, anything Animal Collective was huge growing up. You could definitely sense it on Zen Summer, not so much Comfort Songs, the last record that I made.
I think Panda Bear would really like your album. I hope he hears it.
Oh, God.
What would you do if you found out he heard your album and he liked it? Like a
I would feel a relief, honestly.
I'll tweet him like 100 times a day.
Wow.
Listen to this. If you could go back in time and talk to Tyler pre-first album, what advice would you give him?
When you start out making music, you just don't really care. I was in high school, I was making it for like 10 people that I was friends with, and I was like, if they don't like this, I'm done. I don't really care. And that even stays true today. Like when I make songs, I'm like, I hope like Greg and Conrad like this one. So I think my advice would be like enjoy, have a good time.
If there's anyone watching that wants to start making music, wants to make an album in the future, what advice would you give them? I
think the first thing I would say to someone that's starting to make music is keep it real, keep it authentic. Don't make a song that sounds like it should be a song. Make a song that you want to make that speaks to what your experience is. I think that what is most criminally missing from much of the art that I see is an authenticity. This is my story element to it. Rather, it tends to feel like fashion. And
one more thing I want to bring up, not quite related to Zen Summer, but you wrote a web series, Suburban Legends, and it's one of my favorite web series I've ever seen. Very charming, and if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. It's suburbanlegends.tv?
Yeah, that's the website, yeah.
Yeah, so you moved out to LA to focus on writing for television.
Initially, I did, and then I actually got to hang out in a writer's room for a show called Randy Cunningham, 9th Grade Ninja. It's really cool. All the writers say it was the best show that they've worked on, their favorite anyway. But I realized, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to write for a TV show. After that day, I was like, I'm just going to do my own thing. So Suburban Legends started to come more to form. And then, fast forward to now, a year and a half later, we are negotiating a contract, so hopefully something will come of
that's awesome. What's the career goal for you as of right now, today?
Today, obviously, with Zen Summer being a week away, it's a little more music focused. There's just more momentum in it right now. But I don't know, I just want to live my life project to project. Whatever is on the horizon, I want to do my thing with it, put it all into it. And then move on to the next one, and that'll be music and film, and then maybe, pottery, whatever the hell comes up.
That's so cool.
You just want to stay creative.
I just want to stay fulfilled, and that's one of the ways to do it.
So, this was awesome. Thank you so much for coming out and taking the time to talk about your album and opening up with us.
But to listen to Tyler's music, you can go down below for the information, and we'll have everything there.
Alright guys, I'm Matt.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Sandy.
And this is Damn It,
Sandy.